introduction. As a little girl, Helen Keller enjoyed her searching for bird eggs in the grass with her friend Martha. Helen couldn't hear or speak, so she used her hands to tell Martha when she wanted to go to search for eggs. She would put her hands together to the ground. Martha understood what that meant, and the two would run off to hunt for her egg. Using her hands was just one of many ways Helen found to communicate with the world around her. Become deafblind. Helen Keller was born on June 27, 1880 in Tuscumbia, Alabama, when she was just 19 months old. She became very sick with a high fever. Helen got better, but she could no longer hear or see. She was deaf and blind. As a child, Helen found a way to communicate with the people around her. She used hand movements or signs to tell others what she wanted or needed. Helen's friend Martha, the daughter of the family cook, was one of the first girls to understand her sign. By the time Helen was 7, she and Martha had made up around 60 different signs. Still, Helen was frustrated that other people often couldn't understand her. Learning new ways to communicate. When Helen was a child, there was school for people who were deaf, schools for people who were blind. Few teachers, however, knew how to teach children who were born deaf and blind. In 1886, Helen's parents hired Annie Sullivan to be Helen's teacher. Sullivan had just graduated from Perkins School for the Blind. While she became friends with Laura Redmond, the first deaf-blind person to learn language. Redmond taught Sullivan how to fingerspell, using different hand shapes that represent letters of the alphabet to spell out the words. This is part of the American Sign Language. ASL, a language used by deaf people. As Helen's teacher, Sullivan taught Helen how to fingerspell. That one day, Sullivan poured water over Helen's hands. Then she used the finger to spell out water on the palm of Helen's other hand. Helen used the fingers to spell the same words on Sullivan's hands. After a few months, Helen had learned hundreds of new words and sentences. Helen realized her sense to touch could also help her to read, and soon Helen could read Braille. Braille is a form of written communication that uses set raised dots on paper. Each set dot represents a letter of the alphabet. People touch the dots with their fingers to read. Helen also learned to understand what people were saying by placing her fingers on their lips. As people spoke, Helen could feel their lips change shape. Keller goes to college. When Keller was older, she went to schools for blind children and deaf children. Keller enjoyed learning and wanted to go to college. Even though she was smart and a good student, many people think she would succeed. In 1900, Keller started school at Radcliffe College. Sullivan attended classes with Keller, signing the words into Keller's hands as the teachers gave the lesson. After Keller would type up lessons using a typewriter or Braille writers. When Keller's textbooks weren't written in Braille, Sullivan read them and then signed the words for Keller. Although Sullivan communicated the lessons to Keller, Keller did all her own works. In 1904, she graduated with honors. Keller's adult years. After college, Keller wrote many books and essays. She traveled around the country, speaking about the experiences of deaf and blind people. Keller saw that many people with disabilities live in poverty. She wanted to help them. In 1924, Keller joined the American Foundation for the Blind, where she worked more than 40 years. She helped she helped open more schools for children who were blind and helped get more books printed in Braille. Later, she traveled around the world, visiting more than 35 countries to help disabled people outside the United States. Keller also fought for the rights of women, black people, and workers. In the 1920s, she helped start an organization to protect the rights of people in the United States. It still exists today. Many people disagreed with Keller's views and thought being deaf and blind meant she wasn't smart. They wouldn't listen to what she had to say. Remembering Helen Keller. Throughout her life, many people treated Keller unfairly because of her disabilities. People often decided things for her instead of letting her make her own choices. They thought that they knew better than she did what was the best for her. Keller had to prove over and over again that she could do things for herself. By the time Keller died in 1968, she accomplished many great things. She was a capable deaf-blind woman. She wanted to have she wanted the world to know that disabled people can think, learn, and do great things.